I'm learning to feel safe while everything is changing. Welcome to the Self Concept Bestie podcast. I'm your host, Laura. I'm excited right now, but I'm also very much a bit ungrounded. But I've realised that it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. Let's get into it. A lot has been happening, a lot. And I'm going to dive deep in this episode about what's happening in my life and how being in the unknown, I'm needing to create that safety, because right now I feel like I'm in a black hole and not sure what is going to happen next. Now, whenever we're going through any big, massive changes in our life, I don't know if you can relate to this, but it's like your body sometimes knows before your mind does. So last week, I got a call. I work in the third party, the third sector, for a charity, and unfortunately, our funding isn't getting renewed. So that now means I am out of a job. I know, I know. Obviously, it's scary. You know, a single mum, two kids, a mortgage. It's scary. However, the week before, I had went on a course. It was a free course with a woman called Jessica Cunningham, absolute beautiful human being. And she has created what they call belief coding. Now, in this course, this live session that I attended, I was able to access a core belief that I've been trying to access in my subconscious for 2 years. And I'm well versed in subconscious mind reprogramming, but her work is phenomenal. And I thought to myself, this is it. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is how I can move my coaching and mindset business forward with utilising this. So I took the leap of faith and I got on the course. And then 4 days later I find out that I'm not going to have a job, my current stability, safety net, the thing that guarantees that I get paid, that I can feed my kids, that I can keep a roof over our heads. And in that moment, when I got that call, I didn't feel fear. I actually felt relief. It was like my body breathed out. It was like, I was like, this is what is meant to happen. It was like the universe, somebody, myself, my higher self, whatever it is that you believe in, was coming and saying to me, Laura, this is your chance. This is it. You've been saying that you want to start your own business full time. You want to go in, you want to help people break down these walls, create new patterns in their life, and allow them to see the full potential within themselves. This is it. So when I was expanding, I'm now going into this unknown. I don't know what that next step looks like, but it feels exciting. But it also feels scary. And what I've realised is that excitement and that fear, that can coexist at the same time. And it doesn't mean to say that either are wrong, but it also means that I am not stopping myself anymore because of that fear. Now, the unknown always feels unsafe, even when it is what we ask for. Like I've been asking, this is what I've been wanting to do. This is my dream. But also that means that safety net's getting taken away, the rug's getting pulled away. So of course it feels unsafe, and our brains love safety, don't they? They want to keep us safe. But when you can go within and trust that it is actually working out, that it is going to be okay, that this was actually the path that you were always meant to take, and you can find that resilience within yourself, that's that's been the most powerful realization for me. Now, since starting this course, it is called Belief Coding, and I will be a fully accredited belief coding facilitator that will be able to help clients access parts of their subconscious and recode in new beliefs to be able to change their life. How exciting is that? But on this course, I need to also do my own belief coding. So, getting sessions and breaking down my own beliefs and seeing where I've been stuck, which is exactly what you're needing when you're looking to create your own business, when you're wanting to bring in the right clients, when you're wanting to be able to help change people's lives on a fundamental subconscious level. So it's not surface, it sticks, it stays. And when I've been doing these sessions, some of the things that have came up, the fear of being out of control, how I don't trust my inner voice sometimes, the stuff that I've been able to bring to the surface and recode in and change has been absolutely life changing. But I had 3 sessions last week, and at the weekend, the grief and the heaviness I felt was like nothing I've ever experienced before. Because I know everybody likes to paint healing and doing this kind of work as rainbows and butterflies. Just heal. You just need to heal. And I get we do. We all need to look within. But also, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be pretty. So when I'm on Saturday, cried all day, and I have not felt a sadness like that. And I would say years, years. It was so, so heavy. And the only way that I can describe to you what it felt like was grief. It was grief. It was as if somebody close to me had died. And then it hit me. Then I realised part of me had died. I know, I'm laughing right now. But I have been running with these beliefs, this identity, staying small, not believing in myself that I can do it, that I can be big, that people want to be able to, that I can actually help people do this. That self doubt was always there. So when I've been changing that, I've changed the beliefs, that identity that I've held on to for 36 years, it's no longer there anymore. And my body was grieving. My nervous system hadn't caught up yet. My nervous system hadn't realised that we had shifted. My brain knew, but my body didn't. And the emotion that spilled out of me on Saturday, it was almost the grief and love for every version of me that had got me to where I am today. The girl who went through that pain, who went through that heartache, who went through that bullying, who went through that feeling small. It, it was the grief for her, but also love and thankfulness and knowing that without her, I wouldn't have I wouldn't be the person I am today. That everything had lined up for this exact moment. So I was grieving. I was grieving a part of me that was no longer getting to live inside of me, no longer getting to keep me small, no longer allowing me to judge myself, no longer allowing external voices or external fear to influence what I do. So, another session that I want to kind of tell you about that I had, I've got a real struggle with getting up at 6 o'clock in the, sorry, I've got a struggle for getting up in the morning. Anyway, but I mean like a dread. You may be able to relate. It's not just a tiredness. It's a pit in my stomach of dread, and it takes me a good 1 to 2 hours to get that feeling to go every morning. So after a session, I wanted to work on getting up because the girl who is going to be creating something, who is creative, who is starting her own business, who is enjoying life, who's embracing life, she doesn't lie in her bed. She doesn't snooze an alarm and rush around and still feel down 2 hours later. So after the session, the next morning, I set my alarm 6 o'clock. I got up at 10 to 6. No problem. And that for me, that was great. But for me, the biggest shift, the biggest realization was not the actual getting up. It was that the feeling of dread had gone, because dread was the emotion that I worked on in that session, and where that dread had came from. What part of me was feeling dread that had created that belief around dread, and what did she need in that time? And I was able to go back and recode that. And that dread no longer lives inside me anymore. That feeling isn't there. In the morning, there's a feeling of freedom, of excitement, of get up and go. So, yes, bonus. I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, no problem. But actually, the fact that that emotion in me has went, that was the biggest win. Win? Sorry. That was the biggest win for me. Now, what I would say is it's okay if anybody who's listening is going through their own kind of healing journey and is like nodding away with me saying, yes, oh my God, yes, I understand, I hear you, with that grief and that shedding of your old self, with meeting past versions of you and giving them what they needed and being able to code in the new beliefs if you are there. And just a little side note, there is going to be a waiting list coming up for clients to be able to work with me, where we can actually recode in your new beliefs into your subconscious, where we can get to the root, not just surface, the root of what is running your life. Sorry, I digress. We can't miss the old version. We can miss the old version of us because that was safe. It was stable. It was what we've always known. So now when we're jumping into the unknown, when I'm looking at life and I'm like, I am taking this chance. I am standing on the branch right now of a tree, and I need to know that when that branch falls, my wings are strong enough to allow me to fly. Because as long as I know that, and as long as I trust that within myself, then nothing can go wrong. So it's okay to miss that old version. It's okay to crave that safety. It's okay. But it's also okay to start allowing yourself to feel that safety when not knowing what's next. It's okay to let go of the roles of people pleasing, of fixing everybody, of overgiving and losing yourself. It's okay to start choosing you. It's okay to take that leap of faith, Because sometimes in your gut, that's what you have to listen to. What is that inner voice telling you? And sometimes we don't listen. So sometimes the universe just takes it out our path. Sometimes when you are asking for something and you're not following the signs that are given to you, it gets removed. So you've got no other option but to fly. So if you're going through a phase and you're feeling like you're grieving, because yes, I'm there, I am there. It doesn't mean that we're making the wrong moves. It doesn't mean that we're doing anything wrong. It's just depth. It's not necessarily heaviness. It's depth of finding who you've always been. Changing who you believe that you are and what you are capable of and how limitless you can be. So that grief doesn't need to stay. It doesn't need to be heavy. You can allow it to feel light. And allow yourself to know that in the darkness, when you're in this darkness and you don't know, there's always light. There'll always be a way. There's always a light to guide you right to where you've always meant to be. Just trust. Start to trust in that unknown. Start to feel safe in that unknown. And even when fear shows up, start to be aware of it. Start to feel that fear. Start to hear it. Start to see it. But don't let it run you anymore. Don't let it ruin what you could have. Because your inner self always knows, but sometimes that fear shouts. And we're so used to bowing down to that fear. We're so used to saying, yep, you are right. Okay, I must stay safe. But what if on the other end of fear is everything you've ever wanted? Choose presence. Choose presence now. Not rushing or certainty, just presence in this present moment, and start to trust that self. So if you're in a season where you feel if you're in a season where nothing feels wrong, but nothing feels certain either, you're like that excitement, you're in that excitement stage, but you're also in that fear. No, please no. You're not stuck. We are expanding and our nervous system is just catching up. Thank you so much for listening. Catch me next week. And if this has resonated with you, share it on any socials and also share it to somebody who may need to hear this. As always, today is already an amazing day.